this happen. But I just want to like set up a little bit about what this process is so that we can all kind of be on the same page in terms of our expectations. Discovery season productions, or in the theater, school of theater and dance, right, they're this kind of reduced, black boxy version of shows. And this will partly feel like that, and partly not, right? Because the piece itself is very much in development, right? This is not a fully materialized, realized piece. And for those of you who are not aware, musicals take years to gestate and birth. With the exception of Lin-Manuel, who wakes up in the morning and kind of, brushes his teeth and a musical falls out of his mouth. The rest of us, it takes a long time.
So Andre,
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm really tired.
Yeah. So what are you on your way to?
In 30 minutes I have a composition lesson.
So what do composition lessons look like? Like give us kind of an overview of the hour.
Well, right now, I don't know if I can say this now. Well, right now I'm working on a musical. And it's basically me and my composition professor. He gives me like exercises. So like this past week I had to write a really funny song. And then like the week before it I had to write a sad song. And then I had to do one where it was like happy lyrics and sad music, or sad lyrics and happy music.
Part of the point of this whole thing is that Andre will have an opportunity to take a step forward with the piece. Part of it is for you to all experience what it's like working on a musical in a fairly early phase of the process, right? When did you first start writing this?
Around a year
We've discussed
ago.
this, but
around
a year ago. Right, so it's new, it's fresh. It's a little amoeba musical, baby musical.
Alright, so it's Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. I feel like a lot of things are finally starting to come together with the show. I think I see where the show is going now. It's going to be a long time before the show is even, completed and staged. So the reason I wanted to do this is sort of to document the process, and I wish I thought of it sooner, because I have 6 songs, half are completed, half are started. I don't even know if we can get this staged, let alone performed. I mean, in a couple of weeks I have to get most of these songs ready to present to the head of the theater department. And it's kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the hardest things that I've had to do as a composer.
If you see something that isn't orthodox in the process, let me know, because I need to get this to a point where it's easily sent out to anybody and there's no problem in terms of like readability or like range issues or whatever.
Okay, it is Wednesday, March 20th, 2019. So an update. Just got the email that it's possible that we can get this at least read. 10 to 12 people, which is insane because I thought I was restricted in terms of how many people, so I only wrote this musical for 4 people. But now we can have an ensemble, so I think, but I don't know, we'll see. But this is just after spring break, so I'm getting back into the flow of things. I started writing some stuff for the libretto. That's been fun too. And it's kind of all happening at once, and it's a bit daunting. I'm just trying to get as much stuff ready as I can just to show people what the show's all about in terms of like the story and the music and everything. So I've done a couple of demos already, and this is just me singing the stuff. We are not listening to that. But we can look at something. This is a song that I'm currently working on. I think with this one, it came with this little piano idea. And that was just me fiddling around on the piano. So I basically have this handy dandy notebook. And this is where all the lyrics for this show go. It's nothing special. But you know, for some reason, my brain likes having lyrics first and then the music. When I started out, I was thinking, you know, obviously music first, and then I figured out the lyrics later. But funnily enough, it's almost kind of like writing poems a little bit. I'm basically just writing down what I think the song should be about, what the character should be saying. And it doesn't always have to be rhythmically accurate or has to rhyme necessarily. Sometimes I will specifically be writing purposefully to make sure the rhyme scheme is consistent. But, you know, sometimes they're just narrative lines that I transform into lyrics later. So this first line, I saw a tower made of glass, and in the tower a princess looked below. And so that's the first line of this song. The first line of when I started sketching it out is, I met a princess in a tower made of glass, and I did what anyone would do. And from there, I got the first line of this song. And sometimes you'll get, I said, princess, why don't you come down to join the world below? And that's verbatim for what I wrote April 23rd, 2019. I do like to date these things so I can, you know, remind myself that I'm on a deadline and I need to get everything done by a certain point. And look how much time you've wasted on one song. No, it's just for basically record keeping, and to pressure myself a little bit. Okay, so it's now October 13th, and a lot of things are happening with the show. For one, the musical has a name, it's Dorian, but through a magical alignment of different circumstances, it's getting a stage reading for the Falbo Discovery series in November. So that's exciting. So a lot of things have been kind of barreling towards those two performances that are going to happen in November. Rehearsals start on October 28th. The show is cast. I'm frantically getting things together and editing parts and making sure everything is readable and that rehearsals will go smoothly. Again, we're having rehearsals so soon. I'm just like, the whole thing is very like kind of mind-blowing to me right now. Now, the stage reading we're doing is just going to be a workshop version of the show. It's going to have minimal staging, and we're going to be performing a sort of bare bones version of the show. So I think in grand total, it's like missing 3 or 4 dialogue scenes and 2 or 3 songs. But it's meant to be kind of a skeletal kind of thing, just for me to like really make sure that the foundation of the show works, not only with the cast and the singers, but also with an audience. And I'm really excited to put it in front of people. Also super anxious because I don't know if any of it is going to be good necessarily. I met with the director a couple of times. He's awesome. I'm excited to meet the cast and finally start working on the show. First rehearsal will be a read-through of the libretto and the music, so I'm very excited for that. And hopefully within that same week, we'll have a sits probe once I get the string quartet together and we have a rehearsal, just us, to make sure everything goes smoothly. I'm very excited and anxious and kind of like pinching myself every minute because I still can't believe this is quite happening.
Can I get you a drink?
Gin and tonic, please.
Excellent. A gin and tonic for one Mr. Dorian Gray. On my tab. I did some research on you and found your website. You're quite the experimentalist, my friend.
Yes, that's one word for it.
So tell me about yourself, Dorian.
I think I know why you called me.
What do you mean?
Just listen. I know that when we met, you told me you weren't interested in a relationship or anything like that.
Dorian.
Let me finish, okay? I know you weren't interested in that these last 3 months. You can't deny that there's something between us. There's no way you don't feel the same I do about you. Tell me you feel the same way. Let's just skip all of the courting, testing the waters, and let's just cut to the...
Dorian, this isn't why I wanted to meet.
Then why?
You're right. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. And these last few months have been the best. But I think it's best to end things here.
End things? What does that even mean?
And the picture comes to life. All right. 28, please.
If you don't have the portrait in time, Dorian, Henry said he will revoke his commission and make sure to let other gallerists know not to work with you. Is that what you want?
Henry will have to make do and set up the spot himself. He wanted a portrait from me. That's it. That's all I signed up for.
Betty? The girl from the nightclub?
Indeed, indeed. The one who Dorian called over after we left.
Oh, your performance was exquisite, Miss Thing. So, you met Dorian, did you? Do I have anything to retroactively apologize for on behalf of that man?
More than what's relevant to this conversation. I was telling your friend here that Dorian is not well at all.
Oh,
You deliver it, or my lawyers can pay him a visit. Be sure to mention that.
any messages you want to relay to Dorian when I visit him?
Nothing worth remembering Mr. Howard. Mrs. Howard.
Ms. probably.
Liz.
Sybil drops to her knees next to Dorian, numb. Henry walks over to the covered frame and reveals the picture, only to reveal a self-portrait of Dorian. No blood, no distortion, but beautiful and youthful, seemingly unaffected by the sins of its creator.
Cool. Okay. A few things. I really would love a world where the only exception is probably you, and not for any other reason than he's just, one of those people who's like flamboyant and over the top and ridiculous, and maybe in that way a little bit feels like he's not from this time, but that's put on. Do you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of, it was on Sci-Fi first, and now it's on Netflix, where they're all wizards and, do you know what show I'm talking about? The Magicians, yes. Do you know that series? The acting's pretty boring, but there's a character.
All right, so I'll watch it.
Yes. Character study. I just mean everybody else needs to feel of right now, of time and place. Because most people know this book and know the story, but I do think that there's real potential for them to forget and then actually be a little freaked out and scared by, not a little, but kind of freaked out and scared by what the hell's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? And the way that we're going to achieve that without a set and costumes and lights, right, is your interpretation of it, your performance of it, as if this world is normal, like you're just normal young people living in this play. Do you know what I'm saying? So, same thing with you, even as the narrator. When you become the painting, I'll figure out creatively how we're going to make that work, and you might, yes, necessarily need to make some adjustment in terms of your characterization. Right. But as the narrator, you're just some dude who went to college with Dorian. Do you know what I'm saying? Just some young guy on the street. Not, good evening, welcome to, and now Dorian goes to, that, you know what I mean? You're you. It's very important that it feels natural and naturalistic and realistic to kind of counterbalance what we hope we can achieve with the music and then what actually happens in the play.
So Dorian, as the protagonist, is our unreliable narrator. So we're seeing the show through his eyes, and we're seeing what he's perceiving as what Basil would react to in this situation. But again, it's like, but is it real? Because by the time the show ends and it's unveiled, it's just a normal portrait. The idea being he's obsessed with, again, being youthful and relevant, I think is a better analog for this modern retelling. And doing that, by making that connection with the portrait and thinking that because I've made this thing, it'll live beyond me, it'll live forever, it'll always be relevant. It's led him down this path of thinking that, one, everyone's out to get him, and two, that he's going to unveil anything on his terms. Yeah.
I remember when Your Intent was first on Broadway, I said to the actors who were cast, I said, it's not too far-fetched to think that they'd start charging us to pee now, right? When it was first on Broadway, it was like, oh, this is a ridiculous idea. No one would ever do that. It's getting a little uncomfortably close to that truth now, you know what I mean? And how interesting a story like this, that modernized, has a whole different idea of the psychosis of convincing yourself of something that you see but no one else does, can be very terrifying. And in our case, I'm going to do my very best to get us a huge picture frame to sit upstage as kind of just like the one piece of, setting, but it's going to be empty. And I also think that is a statement in itself, not to get all pretentious about it. But I really think it has the potential to be powerful and in a new and exciting way. But
Yeah.
just be humans, you know what I mean? Be young people in a musical. You know, don't worry about, you know, I'll tell you if I need more or less or whatever, but really all of you need to feel real and grounded and you know, like you're humans. Make sense?
And one. And one. Great, let's get tenors and baritones in here. So we're down here. Line, your C, bottom line is your F. Alright, here we go. And one. Come on, come on. And one.
Witnesses rise to success.
Perfect, awesome. Alright, let's keep going. So top line with me, and one. That's a quick. All and one. Witnesses success. Yeah, again from 103 and one. One. Witnesses success. Keep going. Here we go. 2 and 1.
Come on, lad. Witnesses success. Come on, lad. He's only just begun.
Great. Can we go from all the way back to 95? Let's try to put it together.
Come on, lad. Witnesses success. Come on, lad. He's only just begun. Come on, witnesses success.
Alright, key change, alright? Upper voices at 122. You guys have Dorian's theme real quick. Let's just hear that. Here we go. 122, 1 and 2 and. Cool. Again. 3, 1 and 2 and. Yeah, I think we're lagging on the dotted half. Let's try it again. 1 and 2 and. 3. Great.
Dorian, do you want Dorian or Dorian?
Dorian. So it's not and, it's
Yeah.
like N. Yeah.
Okay.
How do you say it? Yeah. Okay. 120. 1 and 2 and. So the rhythm is slightly tricky. So it's. I think that's with everyone. Okay. 1 and 2 and. Great. Can I hear just you guys without me? All right, here we go. And.
Think of what they'll say. Think of what they'll say. Think of what they'll say. Think of what they'll say.
Perfect. Oh my god, that sounds so good. All right. 95. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and.
Witnesses rise to success. Come on, lad. Witnesses success. Come on, lad. It's only just begun. Come on, lad. Witnesses
I feel like it'll depend on how I feel.
Okay. Because it is a high note. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me.
Okay.
I did some research on you and found your website. You are quite the experimentalist, my friend.
Yes, that's one word for it.
Oh, so tell me about yourself, Dorian. How does a gorgeous young man like you end up being friends with someone like that?
It depends.
Depends.
Materials?
Oil, I think, right? And then cross down in front of him. Old-fashioned dimensions, by the time you get here, massive, right? This is like you're plotting the end of the world. You hear me? Undoubtedly. Well, he says 8 months, and then keep this all out because you're envisioning this beautiful portrait of this guy's face, right? And then snap, you have 6. You know what I mean? Feels very choreographed, but that's, you know. 6 months, you'll receive compensation for your materials. We'll have something to hand him, a business card, piece of paper. You get that paid to me in 6 months, and then you can sit at the end of that again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just so you're not stuck in this little weird space the whole time. Okay?
Dorian Gray?
Yes.
Can I ask for a compromise?
Yeah.
So can we do 2 things? Can we do about Dorian Gray?
So just hold it.
Hold the on, and make it more on instead of in. Because if you do in, the note's just like
Yeah,
staying
of
there.
course.
If you on, it just goes
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Can we do that really quickly? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
strings, 117. Bum, ya da da. Not short. Not da, pa pa pa. Needs to be dramatic.
Fools, following God's rules, they moan and complain at a life of pain.
But it's safe out here in this
Let's do 74 again. That's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
74. Gabby, definitely bring out 78. That's your solo right there. Okay, 74. 3, 4. Nice.
That's where I'll be.
Okay.
Then you don't even need to be late.
Yeah, probably.
As soon as Carly starts singing, we're out of the band. So you're gonna take as much time as you want.
Okay.
With Jeremiah's staging, I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah.
I saw you watching from the crowd, and as I was singing, a voice whispered in my ear. It says, "Don't get too close. You'll rush your rings that
Time doesn't stop for you and I. Time doesn't stop.
Portrait reveal. Alright. You guys are amazing. Sorry. Eric, I want some more food after. Okay. Wait a minute.
Sorry, might as well take it.
Look, this is right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make sure to fill that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Gabby. So amazing.
It's just a walk. So it's right, left, back, and down. Now, part of it, right, is the boop in there's a little rhythm between each step, right? So when you take a step, there can be a bump, right? A bump, and a back, and step. You're just walking, step. Wait, let me lean back. Okay, and down, and step. What about it? step. We're coming for you. Back and down. That's it. It's meant to just be a casual move that you use in real life, okay? Not a choreography. Just walk, you know, like you're just coming for the audience. Here we come. We're coming to get you. Come on, come on. I'm gonna kill you. Okay? One more. One more. And back and what? I'm gonna kill you. You're dead. One more, right? Yes. Question.
Do you care that because sometimes I feel like I'm not taking as big as steps as everyone else.
Well, look at me.
Does that no. Okay.
You're gonna have space to travel in Falbo.
Okay.
But I also don't want you
Because I just don't want it to be I feel myself doing that. Maybe it's because I have tiny legs. Because then I'm staggered.
What I'm doing more is up, right? I'm going up. I'm not going like this.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going, yeah, and one. We're dancing. Back, and then, okay, here we go. And one. What? One. What? Back, and yo, come on, come on. You know?
Yeah,
that's I gotta teach you all how to be Philly. Now that I've changed this, you can still keep the characterization because I think it can be funny.
Okay.
But if we're gonna do it, and you've got two options. You can play it straight, or you can be funny. I think that. Okay. What's the cue line for her?
My point exactly.
Yep. My point exactly. Then enter with the tray.
Can I wear heels and go
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I do care, but enter with the tray. Gin and tonic, sir. And you can react to this. Who the hell just brings that over here like a bowling alley?
in front of grapes?
Right. Take it off the tray, boom, and then
Gin
walk.
and tonic, sir.
Yeah, but come all the way over here.
You want me to come behind?
No. Once you come down stage of them, take one step off stage. Tray. Make it in your upstage hand.
Got it.
Say it first. Gin and tonic, sir. Take it off. Hand it to him. Take the tray. Turn up stage. And off, right? And he's just like, where am I? In Arby's?
Gin and tonic, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I still think say it first, then hand it to him.
Okay.
Because that's what she would do.
You right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The director's correct.
Yeah, so blast off first. This is just I don't know. It's
Don't even make eye contact.
yeah, don't just hand it to him. And then say, gin and tonic, sir, and then walk off.
For your gallery?
Oh, a sculpture.
A self-portrait.
A self-portrait? Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not really in the market for self-portraits as of this moment. Especially for this upcoming exhibition.
Well, I assure you, if you just give me one
You
chance...
didn't let me finish. This is not the usual kind of stuff I commission, but a self-portrait of that face. A permanent snapshot of youth. Patrons down the block.
Really?
Great, Jacob. I think you didn't let me finish. You know what you're gonna say, right?
Yeah.
When you say you didn't let me finish, it's no. Hold on. This is a good thing. Don't parade him for not letting you finish.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Tease him with it a little bit.
So, hypothetically, how long would you need to give me a self-portrait of that handsome vision? Hypothetically.
It depends. Materials?
Oil.
Old-fashioned. Dimensions?
Massive.
Framing.
Undoubtedly.
Well, it'll take some funds for the materials and the framing. And of course I would need time to let the oil dry periodically. But I could have it done in as little as 8 months.
You have 6.
Pardon?
6 months. You will receive compensation for your materials after the exhibition opens and a stipend for your time spent on the project.
I think you would bleed on visage, right? I just think these little words.
Longevity.
Yeah. These little words that are really not that impressive, but to him, he thinks he sounds fancy. He's probably a guy from New Jersey, who made it up. Yes, I'm from New Jersey, but he's probably a guy from New Jersey who kind of has created this life for him in Lower Manhattan as an art dealer and art agent or whatever, and it's totally it's just not who he is at all.
Yeah.
So there's that little underbelly of overcompensation. You know what I mean? So those words, I think, because that's not, nobody really talks like that. You know, so I think, you know, bleed into those words
Yeah.
that he's using as a manipulative tool that he thinks is going to impress this young thing.
Miss Sybil, they.
Yes, except bring yourself in. Sure, if you want to do it now, we're okay. Really? PK. So do you see how that works? So will you guys go back for a second? So you're going to time this out. So this is, you can walk down. Ladies and gentlemen, you can almost interrupt this exchange here.
Okay.
You just got to sense it. And then big, broad, wait, you're never going to believe your eyes walk. I still want you turned up stage.
Until he says my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's music first. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sybil Vane, and look at me. You can, so as he's getting up, you can make this, you already kind of see them a little bit. You've got your script in this hand, right? You can just give us I don't know, a Sybil Vane thing and keep it up here until you're ready to sing.
Okay.
Then bring it down, and then it's to the audience. Does that make sense? I was going to ask you to start from the top. Okay, here we go. Sybil Vane! Bring it down. Make sense? Okay. They're from my showgirl days. I would prefer you go this way. It's going to feel awkward for you to go that way. Because you've just done this with your right hand, and then go like that, and it's like, surprise!
It's a cautionary tale.
Good. Now I'm going to ask the maestro if and I think when he was coaching you, this happened. You can take as much time as you want before you sing. It's a cautionary tale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not being hot?
I'm milking it.
Okay.
Sorry. We're watching the games. Here we go.
Your violent silence, your watchful gaze, condescension in countless ways. It's easy to pretend that society's on the mend, but this is the end, my friend. This is the end. You can't believe your eyes. Time doesn't stop for you and I.
Is that the way we did the cut last time, Andre?
We didn't get to cut this yet.
Yeah, it's the next one.
So we have da 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 key change da 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 boom boom
I thought it went from this is the end. You can't believe your eyes. Time doesn't stop for you and I.
Oh no, we can't do that because we have to change the key first.
Sure.
Can you go from time doesn't stop for you and I into that part, the instrumental part? Conversation. Makes sense? Okay. Let's just I just would like to hear what that sounds like. Alright, here we go.
This is the end. You can't believe your eyes. Time doesn't stop for you and I. Conversation, humiliation, changing, explaining, rearranging, craving, raging, overstating, late in the game.
I don't love it only because the chorus is just halved and like balance wise because then by the time she gets back to the chorus it's back to having 8 measures.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying in the flow of the scene. We don't have to make a decision on it right now. I'm just saying for the flow of the scene, it doesn't musically sound wrong. I understand what you mean by your counting of the, like breaking up the scenes in terms of the measures and the length of each one of them.
Is your idea that you want to end this exchange between her and Dorian here instead of here? Like you want to switch those verses?
No, it's just a timing thing for getting. Let's go from. I think I need to see it from where you go up to here to the people, and then keep this like temporarily, Son and Carly, what we're doing right now. So you're just gonna have time as a stop for you and I, to get to here, conversation. But I just want to see how like the fit that feels in the flow of it.
Never again will I pretend that this isn't the end. This is the end. You can't believe your eyes. Time doesn't stop for you and Conversation, humiliation, changing.
I just think if that beat, do you see what I mean? It's not exactly precise right now, but boobies were good. You know, and then when you look, you felt where that beat was to look on at him?
Yes.
Yeah? So it's right in the music there. It's, and then hold on him for the da-da-da-da-da, the F, the section that's F, what's on? And then, so that you got a ba-da, ba-da, takes you out of that, back to the scene. Thoughts?
It works.
I know.
It works.
I'm just teasing you.
I think it would be fine.
I give it.
If we kind
This is what I would say.
kind of spin it as like she's kind of like lost time a little bit.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gripped with him. So da 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 da. It's actually not until then that brings you back into the scene. So you're still on him before Son plays the ba. That's the, oh my God, where am I? That's right, I'm in the nightclub. I gotta get back to center to do the number. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the final set, but I think if you're open to trying it as we rehearse, and if we want to bring it back, we can, because you know how it goes the other way too. Does that make sense? Let's do it one more time. Okay, here we go. Stay focused, guys. You're doing good work. Here we go. Focus, focus. And Carly, you really got to commit to these things.
Okay.
Booty bump, selfie, give me the money. Look at that long, beautiful hair. Boobies! Then.
If it's true that times are changing,
Good.
why do I get the loyalty? Well, it's easy to pretend that society's on the mat, but never again will I pretend that this isn't the end. Now this is the end.
So you see him, and it's like, oh my God, you know what? Da 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 da. It's like, I'm in control of the world. Now it's not cute little kitten, sexy kitten. Now it's dominatrix, right?
Yeah.
And body shape, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't want to give you a line read. But body shaming. All right. So, a tale of crushing his own bed. Okay, so that's all here. But I think you just need to make some big choice with body shaming and let it be kind of spoken.
And Carly, you know this because we've talked about it. The whole gimmick of this song is that this is a sexy song with the least sexiest lyrics possible.
Yeah.
But all of you guys are just like, the sexiness. Right? Especially you. You're not like getting any of this. Like if you did, none of the show would happen.
Yeah.
Right? So you're completely like, oh my God, right? You know, so it has to be that. And Carly, you were the only one that's in on it. I'm like, why are you not listening to my lyrics? Okay? Yeah.
You cannot realize time doesn't care if you survive. Is that where it goes into the part?
Back into like the intro section?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't think that you can rest, gentlemen, please hold your applause.
It's there. That's
Yeah,
it. All right.
that's
Yep.
it, yeah.
Okay. So this is the test. Good. All right.
Carly, when you start singing in the breakdown, your violent silence, something small you can consider. This is just how I was picturing it. By the time you get over here, da, 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 your violent silence, your watchful gaze. You start stuff like that. Try that. And once it comes to the driving sexy part, and she's got like the bow and everything, can you guys, Peanut Gallery, can you guys do a little some like, ooh, you know, like don't be like, oh, you know, because some of you have never seen this before. Noah definitely has seen it already.
You know
but-
it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Everyone on stage all the time. Yes. Everyone on stage all the time is an active listener. I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know here. I hope. But it's only a cast of 9, and you're very exposed. There's nothing to hide behind. So you need to, be reacting and listening and be in character, whatever that character may be. If you haven't been given a specific character, of course, you craft one.
Excuse me.
And then Start to walk down stage, because I don't want to upstage.
I wanted to say, that was an amazing performance.
Good, but don't walk too good. You're attracted to him, but you're the. How many times do hot guys come to the bar and go, "Can I take you out after the show?" So this is not. He's not special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So not yet. At least.
Yeah.
So that will work. That transition's really nice. He says, "Excuse me." You could even split a little this way.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Then.
I wanted to say, that was an amazing performance. I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, good for you. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Carly.
Excuse me. I wanted to say, that was an amazing performance. I really, really enjoyed it.
You did.
Surprise?
Most men make snide comments about that particular song. Depends on the audience, I guess.
Seems like most of them are probably jealous. Can I get you a drink, miss?
Sybil.
Good. So when she takes that tiny step towards you, you saw her do that, right? That's permission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really quick, one sec. I just realized this, and this is why we workshop. Can I get you a drink, miss? Doesn't work, because he said your name.
Right.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, it could be played off, I don't know if the audience will get it, but it could be played off as soon as he saw her, he wasn't paying attention to anything else, or is it just better to get rid of it?
I think it's just, can I get you a drink?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, because also, I don't know that at this, it's just the two of them. No one else hears them right now.
Right.
So I don't know if the formality of this, I didn't even catch that either, so good eye. If the formality of this is necessary, because it's a private conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's already said, you can come over to me by going, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so can you say, can I get you a drink? Sure, and then he says Dorian Gray, because that's the only way he's going to get his name in there.
Or if you go, can I get you a drink? Because he doesn't know whether to say myth, you know, he doesn't know whether to say myth. And she stopped in Sybil. She said, that's fine.
Alright.
And then
Okay, yeah.
Dorian Gray.
Great.
And same thing. You haven't totally let your guard down until she says Sybil.
Okay.
Like a dude's confident enough to walk toward a lady, but you're still trying to hold the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says my name. She says her first name. All right. And then for you it's, okay, Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it seems like most of the time they're probably jealous.
Seems like most of them are probably jealous. Can I get you a drink?
Good.
Sybil.
Take a little step toward him.
Dorian. Gray. A pleasure. Please.
Good. Cross in front of him.
You know, that voice of yours sounds a little out of place for the nightclub scene. Did you study somewhere?
Really quick, I'm sorry, and tell me,
No.
straight away, could we somehow get them in the chairs? Because I would love to have this. So they can kind of be like,
the problem is, no, it's not impossible. Let's try it.
Did you study somewhere?
Just self-taught mostly. I mean, I've done auditions here and there, but none of them have panned out the way that I wanted them to. This pays the bills though, and it can be fun.
I think you should keep trying. This is hardly an audience to appreciate the kind of talent you have.
Now, wait a second. The two of you are acting like you've known each other for,
years.
let's do a thing called acting, okay? So, you've just met. You're a little too comfortable, is all I'm saying, okay?
Yeah, and just don't be too earnest either, Kelly, because you're just about to go into a song where you're like weighing the options.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you can't be like immediately into it. You're a little hesitant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because we've talked about the backstory a little bit. Yeah. she's
Which
kind of
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I just said you're too comfortable with each other.
Yeah. Look, I will admit that you're not like most men that I talk to here, Dorian. And I'm flattered. I'm just not looking for something right now.
I sense a story there.
A story that I don't care to
Just
get
let
into.
that land on you. Let that land. I'm just not looking for something right now. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't think she was going to say that. So, whatever you call it in your world, I call it landing on you, but a beat. You know, you can't move into that next line too fast. You know what I mean?
Also, Carly, the read at the top of the team, can you lead to that bombshell a little bit more? Like,
you're not like most
Yeah.
people that I talk to here, Dorian, and I'm flattered. You know, see what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a date?
No, it's not a. Well, maybe. She just wants to get some coffee.
Well, I'll see myself out. Let me get ready. Maybe shave before.
Not a date, Basil.
Well, I know.
Don't turn upstage. Don't upstage yourself.
But don't forget the aftershave.
Basil.
And some clothes.
Not a date.
Pretty close, Grace. This way. And I still want to suss this up for a second. So, picture, really give yourself a moment to see each other. Okay? And then, make it more like, got a date, right? Like, you're trying to like smooth over this awkward situation, you know? Then cross, like I said, that was all good. And then stop, and then cross down stage of him, so you don't upstage yourself,
Yeah.
and you turn to him. Does that make sense? And
Yes,
then make the last beat a sincere one. This is all cover up. But there's no dialogue. Just look at him and hope that he's okay. And then exit. I have to explain this to you. I'm leaving. I can't do this. People are like, tell me why. Tell me why what? Tell me why you don't want me. And then she's started, it has to start there. You know what I'm saying? Then it needs to be, tell me. That's the first one, man.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Let the tell me scare you to leave. So that one's gonna make her leave. The second one.
Yeah.
Right? And louder means we've decided, because we've increased the velocity of this. So louder doesn't mean tell me, right? Louder means louder. The next step is you're gonna put your hands on her.
Yeah.
So it's gotta pass what you can do verbally. Does that make sense? Then she's leaving before you go after her.
Okay.
Let's even change that. You've got to stay, because now you're scared.
Okay.
Okay? Let's try it one more time.
I can't do this. People are watching.
Tell me why.
Tell you why what?
Tell me why you don't want me.
You're incredible.
Tell me.
I'm leaving.
Tell me.
Dorian.
Tell me. I didn't.
Never talk to me again.
This is the first part in the show where Dorian hits a ball, right? He's been going on this high for 3 months, right? He thinks there's something forming between him and Sybil. This is the first wall that Dorian hits, and he doesn't take it well. You kind of have to justify why he's acting this way, you know? And we cut the line, but after the scene is, you know, Dorian has never faced rejection because he's so used to relying on this. The one time it doesn't work happens to coincide with this huge major life change that is already stressful as it is.
And we've talked about, is he mad or does this really happen? I'm just saying there's all kinds of things, Eric, for you to think about. And that's your choice and homework and interpretation. But I think it's important to offer that up. What I do love is that there's I think more than the book, there's a big question mark on the end of this. And from a theatrical standpoint. And that's great. I love an ambivalent ending. You know?
For the things that stay the same between this and the book, the ending is exactly the same. Everyone finds Dorian, he's dead. They unveil the portrait, and the portrait is fine.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same ending, same kind of question mark, but only more pronounced this way. We're staging the finale.
So,
That's a hard no.